So, is Valentine's Day about roses, chocolates, and cheesy cards? Get ready because we're about to dig into the not-so-hallmark origins of everyone's favorite love fest. It's time to take a look into the hidden origins of a beloved celebration on a journey through time to discover the unexpected roots of a special day. This tale transcends the conventional narratives, delving into the intriguing connections with ancient pagan traditions. Lupercalia, also known as Dies Februtas, was an annual festival deeply rooted in Roman tradition. Celebrated on February 14th, this festival held significance for shepherds, centered on the Lupercal, a cave associated with the nurturing of Rome's legendary founders, Romulus and Remus, by the she-wolf and the god Lupercus. The festival involved rituals of sacrifice, blessing livestock with fertility, and peculiar traditions that might raise eyebrows in modern times. At the core of Lupercalia were rituals intended to ensure the fertility of livestock. Participants gathered to sacrifice goats and young dogs to Lupercus, known for his association with fertility. The sacrificed animal's blood played a central role, with young men touching their foreheads with a blood-dipped sword, followed by bursts of laughter, the significance which remains unclear. The festival also witnessed half-naked men adorning themselves with the skins of sacrificed animals, mirroring the appearance of Lupercus and playfully striking passersby with strips of animal skin. One of the more unconventional traditions involved volunteers, often women hoping to conceive, offering themselves to be whacked with strips of animal skin. This practice, though peculiar and seemingly uncomfortable, was believed to enhance fertility and facilitate easier childbirth. While volunteering for such rituals might sound bizarre today, it sheds light on the diverse and unusual customs that once characterized Lupercalia. Contrary to the modern perception of Valentine's Day as a romantic celebration, Lupercalia in its original form had little in common with the romantic ideals associated with the modern holiday. The festival's focus on livestock fertility and its peculiar rituals make it an unlikely precursor to the love-centric celebration we know today. Notably absent from Lupercalia was the incorporation of Cupid, the Roman god of love or doves, which have since become synonymous with Valentine's Day. The evolution of Lupercalia to Valentine's Day remains shrouded in mystery. While some scholars attribute the shift to Christian influence, concrete evidence supporting this theory is as elusive as proving the speaker's secret identity as Jojo Siwa. The absence of substantial historical evidence raises questions about the factors that led to the transformation of Lupercalia into the romantic celebration we observe today. This intriguing journey from a fertility festival for shepherds to a global celebration of love invites further exploration into the cultural and historical forces that shaped Valentine's Day. In the grand tapestry of history, one phenomenon that has garnered its fair share of attention is the Christianization of pagan holidays. This transformative process, where the Christian Church absorbed and repurposed various pagan traditions, allowed for a smoother transition for the recently converted worshippers. Much like the assimilation of Yuletide into Christmas, another instance of this intriguing phenomenon is associated with the creation of Valentine's Day. However, unlike the well-documented transitions of other celebrations, the genesis of Valentine's Day raises more questions than answers. The parallels drawn between Christmas and Valentine's Day are unmistakable, given the purported Christian strategy of appropriating cultural customs for their gain. Yet, unlike Christmas, the evidence supporting the Christianization of Valentine's Day is scarce, prompting a closer examination of the historical context. The common thread that ties these theories together is the historical pattern of the Christian Church strategically aligning its festivities with existing pagan celebrations. In the case of Christmas, Viking sagas from centuries past provide tangible evidence of the integration of Yule into the Christian belief system. This assimilation, however, resulted in a celebration more reminiscent of Yuletide than its original Christian form, emphasizing feasting, drinking, socializing, and gift-giving. In contrast, the alleged connection between Valentine's Day and the pagan festival Lupercalia lacks the same historical support. With its distinctive rituals and practices, Lupercalia saw no parallel adoption by Saint Valentine's Day. The absence of feasting, drinking, and other shared customs raises the question, why do some believe these two celebrations are connected? The historical precedence of Christian appropriation fuels these speculations. early Christianity demonstrated a penchant for repurposing cultural customs, making the theory of Lupercalia's assimilation plausible. The timing of events adds a layer of suspicion. The decline of Lupercalia around the 5th century coincided with Pope Gelasius I's declaration of St. Valentine's Day on February 14th, just a day before Lupercalia. However, this theory has its challenges. The limited evidence supporting the deliberate alignment of St. Valentine's Day with Lupercalia leaves room for skepticism. No letters, journal entries, or hidden scrolls have surfaced to confirm Gelasius' intention to phase out the pagan holiday. The absence of written evidence and the lack of ceremonial similarities between the two celebrations call into question the integrity of this intriguing historical connection. Pope Gelasius I, renowned for his disdain towards Lupercalia and paganism, may have viewed the proximity of St. Valentine's Day to Lupercalia as a strategic move to diminish the influence of the pagan festival. Yet, without conclusive historical evidence, this theory remains speculative. The sands of time have a way of erasing written records, leaving us with a historical puzzle that may never be fully solved. Without concrete proof, it becomes prudent to approach the theory of Valentine's Day as a Christianized Lupercalia with caution. While the parallels between Christmas and Yule offer a compelling historical narrative, Valentine's Day's enigmatic origins still need to be determined. As we navigate the corridors of history, the intricate dance between Christianity and paganism continues to captivate our curiosity, leaving us to ponder the mysteries of the past. Valentine's Day, celebrated worldwide with expressions of love and affection, has its roots in mystery. While many associate the day with romance, it is essential to question its origins. If Valentine's Day wasn't created to replace Lupercalia, an ancient Roman fertility festival, could it be to honor Saint Valentine? The quest for the identity of Saint Valentine takes us on a journey through historical obscurity and the challenges of unraveling the past. The elusive Saint Valentine, or Valentinus, is a figure lost in the annals of time. Record-keeping during the era he purportedly lived was far from impeccable, leaving historians with scant information. Complicating matters, there were numerous Christian martyrs named Valentinus, and their stories likely underwent embellishments over the centuries. One of the earliest Valentinus, whose details remain elusive, met his demise in Africa alongside 24 soldiers. The circumstances surrounding his life and death are lost in history. Speculation suggests he might have been a missionary attempting to convert those resistant to Christianity, a common peril faced by early Christian leaders. Another candidate emerges as a Roman priest named Valentinus, whose story was documented in the Acta. Although criticized for its historical accuracy, the Acta recounts Valentinus' arrest during the reign of Emperor Gothicus. Placed in the custody of an aristocrat named Asterius, Valentinus allegedly converted Asterius and his family by miraculously curing his daughter's blindness. However, this conversion led to their execution, with Valentinus beheaded by Emperor Gothicus. Pope Gelasius later established Valentine's Day on February 14th to commemorate the sacrifice. The third contender for the namesake of Valentine's Day shares a narrative strikingly similar to the second Valentinus, another priest named Valentinus whose story transpired in Terni, central Italy, allegedly cured his captor's son. The similarities between these stories suggest they might be different versions of the same Valentinus, with each city adapting the tale to its context. Despite the intriguing narratives, historical certainty still needs to be discovered. In instituting the holiday, Pope Gelasius had a particular Valentinus in mind. However, due to inadequate record-keeping of the 5th century church, the true identity and deeds of the honored man are forever lost to history. The enigma persists, leaving us with uncertainty regarding the authenticity of the celebrated saint. Regardless of which Valentinus inspired the holiday, it's crucial to recognize that the romantic association with Valentine's Day did not originate with the saint himself. The romantic elements are believed to have been introduced almost a millennium after the holiday's establishment. This revelation challenges popular claims that Saint Valentine was honored for conducting Christian marriage rituals or passing notes between Christian lovers imprisoned by Emperor Gothicus. Several unfounded claims have circulated, linking Valentine's Day to the romantic endeavors of Saint Valentine. The notion that our hero risked his life to conduct Christian marriage rituals, leading to the tradition of Valentine's Day cards, lacks historical substantiation. Similar to many folklore theories, these claims have been perpetuated by a desire for topical narratives, often fueled by journalists seeking captivating stories without delving into their origin points. If you're looking to blame somebody for spending every Valentine's Day alone and miserable while your friends, classmates, and coworkers are treated at dinner dates, flowers, and cans of crush, look no further than Geoffrey Chaucer. Before his poem Parlement of Fowls was published in 1382, there was no indication that the holiday had anything to do with romance. But this guy just had to go and notice that birds tend to their mating around February 14th every year. Every fowl finds his mate there because it's Saint Valentine's Day. I say of every species that humanity knows, and then so enormous a multitude did they create. There was almost enough room for me to stand since everything was complete: the ground, the sea, the trees, and every lake. After this poem began circulating, nature-minded European nobility sent love notes during the bird mating season. Still, the traditions we've grown accustomed to, like gift exchanging, romantic dinners, and kinky bedroom activities like strip duel monsters, weren't widespread among the common folk. Back then, laymen were more focused on ensuring their families had food and shelter while dedicating an entire day to romance, a luxury most couldn't afford. The following published reference to Valentine's Day occurs a few centuries later in Shakespeare's Hamlet, which was published in the 1600s. In Scene 5 of Act 4, Hamlet's potential wife, Ophelia, sings a song. "Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, bedtime early in the morning, and I, a maid at your window, to be your Valentine." Afterwards, he got up, put on his clothes, and cleaned the chamber door, let in the maid who was never left before. Rough translation: when the girl showed up at the guy's window, he invited her inside and they did what lovers do, played strip duel monsters. According to Jacqueline Simpson from the Folklore Society, this song stems from a commonly held belief that the first woman a man sees on the morning of Valentine's Day is his true love. This belief is then substantiated in the diary of Samuel Pepys, a high-ranking official in England's Navy who lived throughout the 17th century. He discussed practices like feasting, flirting with your Valentine, and giving gifts of embroidered gloves or silk stockings to your lady. He even mentions that on Valentine's morning, his wife walked around the house with her hands over her eyes to avoid seeing the workers there and risk one of them becoming her true love. People were so naive back then, weren't they? And I mean, that is the most endearing way possible. As Valentine's Day evolved, the celebration shifted from nature-inspired mating rituals to more structured customs. The exchange of handwritten notes became more common, and the idea of expressing love through tokens like gloves and stockings persisted. However, it wasn't until the 19th century that mass-produced Valentine's Day cards became popular, making the expression of love more accessible to the general public. The commercialization of Valentine's Day accelerated in the 20th century, with the introduction of various products and services marketed as essential for expressing love. From heart-shaped chocolates to elaborate bouquets of roses, the holiday became synonymous with grand gestures of affection. Romantic dinners, once reserved for nobility, became widespread, creating a booming industry around the celebration of love. In the modern era, Valentine's Day has taken on diverse forms. While some continue to embrace traditional expressions of love, others critique the commercialization and argue for more genuine personal ways of celebrating. The day has expanded beyond romantic love, with people celebrating friendships and familial bonds. So the next time you find yourself alone on Valentine's Day, you can still blame Geoffrey Chaucer for sparking the chain of events that led to the modern celebration of love. But remember, the evolution of Valentine's Day is a fascinating journey from bird-inspired poetry to commercialized expressions of affection, and its history is a testament to the ever-changing nature of human traditions. In the 1600s, Valentine's Day began to weave itself into the fabric of mainstream culture, leaving an indelible mark on literature and diaries of figures like William Shakespeare and Samuel Pepys. However, it wasn't merely a celebration of love, it was also becoming a lucrative opportunity for enterprising individuals to capitalize on the emotions associated with this romantic day. The Industrial Revolution emerged as a pivotal force in reshaping the commercial landscape of Valentine's Day. Before the mid-1800s, handwritten love letters were the norm, a labor-intensive and intimate practice. Mass manufacture was made possible by technological improvements, which completely changed the availability of pre-made cards. These cards were more manageable for the everyman to obtain and adorned with elaborate decorations that surpassed what could be achieved by hand. Yet, this newfound accessibility had its downsides. The anonymity facilitated by mass-produced cards led to a darker side of Valentine's Day. People seized the occasion to send anonymous cards containing not-so-sweet sentiments, nasty insults, and offensive imagery directed at their adversaries. By the 1890s, this trend had nearly extinguished the tradition of giving Valentine's cards in England, signaling a decline in the holiday's popularity. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic in America, Valentine's Day cards remained as popular as ever. Introduced in 1847, the tradition flourished, becoming a nationwide celebration before the 1950s. In 1913, just 2 decades after the decline in England, the renowned Hallmark Company began mass-producing Valentines in Kansas City, Missouri, solidifying the commercial aspect of the holiday. However, the commercial juggernaut faced a temporary setback during World War II, as resources were redirected towards the war effort. After the war's conclusion, there was a resurgence in the mass production of Valentine's Day goodies. In the UK, sending cards regained popularity, and the post-war era saw a reinvigorated enthusiasm for expressing affection through mass-produced tokens of love. As the years progressed, Valentine's Day continued to evolve, marking its presence on a global scale. The holiday's commercialization took a back seat during wartime, but rebounded with newfound vigor in peacetime. The tradition of sending cards endured but thrived, becoming a timeless expression of love and affection. Valentine's Day has transcended in Western origins, spreading its influence to various cultures worldwide. Each culture has put its unique spin on the celebration, creating distinct traditions that reflect their values and customs. From Asia to Africa, the essence of love expressed through cards, flowers, and chocolates has become a universal language on this day dedicated to affairs of the heart. So, this is all about the history of a most important day in many people's lives. So, do like and share the video. For more heart-pounding action, click the subscribe button on our channel. This was today's episode of We Warned You. Stay tuned for the next one and stay curious and vigilant. Goodbye for now.